I bet you thought I'd be singing the Addams Family theme song to start this review. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky, the Addams Family. This is the animated take on the classic ghoulish TV family, the Addams. The story tells us the beginning of the Addams Family, how they get their house, how they get to where they are and who they are, and then they are forced to deal with the outside world. It's really a very basic and generic story about accepting others who are different from you. Truly, that's the main point of the entire movie. We have voice acting from Oscar Isaac, Charlize Theron, Chloe Grace Moretz, Finn Wolfhard, Elsie Fisher, and Allison Janney. The animation in this is fine, but it's not groundbreaking, which that just means, it's pleasant to look at, but it's not blowing my skirt up. There's nothing that is revolutionary about it, but there's also nothing terrible either. It's just a pleasant thing to watch. It's just regular animation. It's not hand-drawn animation, it's computer, but there's nothing wrong with it by any means. So when you watch it, it's there. I think that's probably the best way to say it. Included in this movie, there are some great nods to other movies, and some of them are really overt, but then other ones, you have to be a super fan of the movies that are being referenced to pick up on them. I listed a lot of the voice actors, and honestly, they do a decent job, but there's nothing that just stands out as spectacular. Sometimes you hear like just a whole lot of passion in somebody, or it really brings a character to life. And in this, it's just kind of there. One character that I didn't mention is Snoop Dogg. He plays Cousin It. He voices Cousin It. And honestly, I can't tell that it's him. And so it's kind of a waste. Maybe they're just throwing him a bone, but they didn't even throw in, I know it's a kid's movie, but they didn't even throw in anything sly that could be about him. You know what I mean? Just a little, something like that. Even when he opens up the car door and maybe a little smoke flies out or something like that, just so that we get that nod of like, yeah, we know it's Snoop and enjoy. But we don't. Now, there were a lot of kids in my screening of this, and they seemed to enjoy it, as did the adults. And that goes to say that this isn't a terrible film, it's just forgettable. There's just not really anything in there that leaves a lasting impression. I laughed some, I was amused, and the story was fine. It was fun, and it kept my interest for the most part. But surprisingly, the movie is only 87 minutes long, and it did feel long in that. There were some parts where I was like, oh gosh, okay, let's wrap it up. Or sometimes they would focus on a little bit too much of a musical number, and I got the gist of it. Like, I enjoyed parts of the music, and sometimes I really enjoyed some of the music, that it fit really well, or it put a twist on it that we weren't expecting. It was like, okay, that, good on you. But then some other times they just had some musical interludes, and it's like, did you not really have anything to put in this because you just needed to make it a little longer, or what's going on? Because let's move on. So if you got smaller kids, I think they can get some enjoyment, especially out of some of the slapstick humor that happens on screen. And if you're an adult, maybe you would probably enjoy a little bit of the nostalgia that you get from watching this. But I still don't think that's enough to take your entire family to the theater at full price. I would say save yourself a ton of cash. If you've got to see it in the theater, see it on discount day, see it at a matinee, but really, truly, honestly, you could wait to Redbox or even to when it hits a streaming service. There's no sex or nudity. There's not any profanity or any foul language that I can remember. There is some violence, but again, it's kind of slapsticky and that's what made the kids laugh. I give the Addams Family 2.5 out of 5 couches. So if you had to choose a favorite Gomez, who would that be? I don't know how many there actually are. I can only think of 3 off the top of my head. One is Aston, Sean Aston's dad, and I can't remember his name. You're going to shoot me to say it in the comments because I'll go, oh yeah, that's it. Then Raul Julia, who I think was spectacular in that role, and now most recently Oscar Isaac. There may be others. There may be some other Addams Family that I'm totally forgetting. I don't know. You can let me know in the comments too. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.